Today we are going to be presenting on the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam and the conflict it caused in Northeast Africa. I'm Jordan and I am presenting with Morgan, Kayla, Bridget, and Leslie.
So the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam is located in Benishangul Gumuz region, Ethiopia, and it spans across the Blue Nile River. Construction began in 2011 and it's finally been completed. It has a capacity of 74 billion cubic meters and it's owned by the Ethiopian Electric Power Corporation, EEPCO. It's located upstream from the current largest dam in the Nile, the Aswan Dam, which is in Egypt, and the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam is planned to be the largest hydro plant in Africa. So the Blue Nile and Aborta, which run from Ethiopia, and the White Nile, which runs from South Sudan, connect in Sudan to form the Nile, which then runs through the rest of Sudan and Egypt. 85% of Nile water originates in Ethiopia, and they mainly use the water to generate electricity. The dam is expected to generate 6,000 megawatts of hydroelectricity and provide power to about half the country. Sudan and Egypt rely on the Nile for consumption. Farmers and citizens use the water to survive, and 97% of Egypt's renewable fresh water comes from the Nile. The water level in the Nile decreases every year and is expected to continue to do so, with increasing temperatures in Egypt, and they're expected to rise almost 2 degrees Celsius in the next 100 years.
When we talk about the problems that occur in this area, it directly stems down to political issues between the countries. That would be Egypt, Ethiopia, and Sudan. So when this was first being proposed, Egypt was against it because they rely, 90% of Egypt and their population rely on the water from the Nile, and they do not want the flow to change because it can change the crops and everything they need. Although Egypt said that it will not be changed because it's a hydroelectric power station, it doesn't consume water. The water flow shouldn't be changed. It does take time to fill the dam's reservoir, which will affect the flow downstream potentially. And this could take 12 to 21 years to fill. This can cause some issues long term, and this could possibly allow for Ethiopia to control Africa's longest river, which is why it creates a large political problem. Other countries also rely on it, such as Sudan. So there's someone that also is affected by it. So the starting of the dam was built at the beginning of the Arab Springs without approval from Egypt, which is why Egypt is firmly against it, and it can cause a lot of issues. Egypt originally was pushing for it not to be built at all, but now that it's almost finished, they're pushing for to have an agreement over the filling of it and to allow how much water is to be filled at one time, so it doesn't affect their country when it comes to the water flow.
When we talk about the ethics of the construction of the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam, it is a beneficial project for the countries surrounding the Nile River. The dam is also a sustainable project. It will improve agriculture. There will be more water conservation. It will reduce the flooding in the surrounding of the Nile River. Most important, it will bring renewable energy to millions of people. This will reduce poverty in the countries. The picture on the right, you can see a conversation between the president of Ethiopian and the president of Egypt.
When it comes to the countries coming to a resolution, as Kayla mentioned before, it is kind of difficult because Ethiopia started the project without permission from Egypt and Sudan and has since continued it with their own plans, disregarding how that would affect the other two countries. And because of this, the conversation in terms of coming to an agreement is at a standstill, and it has escalated to the point where other countries, including the US, are now involved. So it is very much an international issue. And it's difficult because Egypt needs the water flow for their agriculture and for consumption. It is very much how they sustain life there. But Ethiopia also needs the hydroelectric power to generate power and lift their people out of poverty. And Sudan, who is quite literally stuck in the middle, kind of sees both sides of this. So overall, Ethiopia has still continued to do with the dam what they have wanted to, but in terms of long conversation, a solution has not been reached yet.
In conclusion, looking into the future, it can be speculated that after the construction and filling of the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam is complete, a new normal period with a relatively average sequence of Nile flow and without a long, multi-year drought could lead to complacency with neutral to positive outcomes for everyone. Even in the absence of coordination, Ethiopia will be able to operate the dam to maximize hydropower generation. As long as the inflows remain somewhere near the long-term average, Egypt will not experience significant deficits and may even benefit from the buffering effects of the dam. The construction of the dam will be seen as a win-win result for all three parties, which has been Ethiopia's stated position from the start. Egypt may become concerned about lower storage levels in the High Aswan Dam reservoir, but would likely become less anxious over time. Sudan will receive multiple benefits due to the upstream flow regulation.
Thank you guys for listening.